Hey guys, what's up? Hitmarthroy here, and welcome to what is likely going to be one of the hardest, if not the hardest, boss battle here in Let's Play Super Smash Bros. Brawl. At least on Intense it will be, because it is with Ganondorf, the evil king of Legend of Zelda / Hyrule. But yes, he is a very interesting character to be using for boss battles because he's incredibly slow. And as a matter of fact, he has the slowest walking speed in the game and the second slowest running speed in the game behind Jigglypuff. Or I guess in front of, rather, but either way, he is still a very slow character. The only real ways to make him go any faster are by using his side and down specials, but then they leave him very vulnerable. So they give him a quick boost to speed and leave him very vulnerable. As you can see right here, there's his side B right there. There's his up B and his down B, the Wizard's Foot, which kind of goes off screen a little bit here, but it's hard to see. And then, of course, you have his Mighty Warlock Punch, which you can also reverse after pressing the button if you want to aim it the other way. But really, whilst a lot of characters have lenience as to how you can play it, with Ganondorf, you really don't get much of a choice, unfortunately. There's really only one way to play it, and the main way is mostly in using his up smash. His side smash works pretty well too, but overall I would recommend his up smash. I got stuck behind Duon right there, and so it wasn't the best example, but generally speaking, with the exception of a few bosses, you're going to want to stick to your up smash and your up aerial. The main exception to that being Gallium, which we'll get to later on in the boss battle. But his up smash, surprisingly, is very quick, it's very strong, as you can tell, and it does not leave him vulnerable to attack as long as you're relatively quick with it. You don't really need to charge it much either. I did here on Petey because, you know, Petey's got predictable moves. He's only got 2 of them, so it's pretty predictable what he's going to do. But as you can see, you can use it multiple times before a boss gets to attack, so you've got plenty of good chances to use it, so that is definitely what I would recommend using, is his up smash. His down smash I would not recommend. Like I said, his side smash works on a couple of the characters. It's just kind of up to you. The side smash is a little bit slower, but the main reason that I say use it against Gallium is because you get pushed back slightly, and so the up smash may not connect. And he's the main one that seems to have a little bit of a shove back just because of sprites. With Rayquaza, it really wasn't a problem here, even though his actual foot was obviously not striking Rayquaza. It was still hitting the hitbox and doing damage, so really the only character that's an issue with is Gallium, or a boss like Taboo that's really high up in the air and you can't really get him, so. Right here I was like trying to throw an elbow against Rayquaza, but the range on his side smash is obviously not very good, so. He is a heavier character, so fortunately he can take a little bit more punishment than some of the other characters that we've seen thus far. At the same time, I do feel like he is so vulnerable to everything because of how he moves. Like, if there's a boss in particular, if you get Rayquaza near the end when he speeds up, Ganon has a really hard time beating bosses that don't have a lot of gap in between their attacks because he's so vulnerable after his attacks. And he's probably one of the worst defenders for that. Luckily, the up smash, like I said, does work wonders here. So if you're actually bothering to try to beat it on Intense with Ganon, your up smash and your up aerial, which is what I'm using in this fight, is what I recommend. Using the up aerial is just for aerial bosses. Master Hand, Crazy Hand, Taboo, Meta Ridley. Ridley is really not that much of a problem because he stays close to the ground, but any boss like that, you're going to want to use against them. So it is definitely very nice to have that as well. The rest of his aerial attacks are kind of slow. His back aerial isn't too bad, but his front aerial is incredibly slow, so try to avoid that one at all costs. His down aerial is actually kind of a meteor smash type thing, but bosses have no knockback, and you can't like send them past a boundary or anything, so that's kind of useless here. But yeah, stick to the up smash and you'll probably be okay. Really, you can't get greedy with Ganon at all. Like, some of the characters that you've seen me play as, I do get greedy and I take damage. Ganon, you can't really do that as much. You have to be a lot more careful, because as you can see, even with Master Hand, who's arguably the easiest boss, you can still get hit by him, so kind of a problem with Ganon, but there's not much you can do about it. You just kind of have to roll with the punches here. And definitely use your heart containers as needed. Fortunately, I'm on boss 7 right here before I finally needed one, so you can just use that. You'll also notice that in fighting Master Hand, and I believe Crazy Hand as well, using his up B, his recovery move, actually does damage the opponent in what it's typically used for is kind of like Captain Falcon's, where you're trying to grab onto something and then you can kind of chain it over and over if you keep grabbing a character, but that doesn't work on bosses. The one thing I will warn you of, and it just happened right there, is you have to be very careful in making sure if you're doing your up smash technique to use an up smash and not hold up and then hit your attack button, because if you do that, he does that attack where he's going to charge up like this right here, and that will leave you incredibly vulnerable because it does take a lot of time, and I got hit by it again right there and almost paid for it even worse by the electricity. And in fact, if I had gotten hit again, that electricity probably would have killed me or gotten very close to doing so. So you do have to make sure that you are initiating a smash attack, not something else. Gotta be very, very careful, because that move will leave you vulnerable. His attacks on the ground, just while using just a standard attack, his standard punches are fine for a very quick hit. If you're about to kill something and you just need a point blank, very quick hit, then that should be fine, but otherwise, I would probably avoid them. The forward attack while on the ground, that's not the smash, has a little bit of range in the kick, but definitely stay away from his up attack on the ground, because it will use up a lot of your time, and that's probably the biggest issue I had with beating it with Ganon for the first time, was I kept doing that by accident, so you really have to watch out for it. And that's pretty much all the advice I can give on Ganon. Like I said, if you're good with him, then you might, have a better time at this than I did, but if you're like me and like most people that probably are not good with Ganon or don't play as him, then yeah, this would actually help quite a bit, because, well, Ganon is Ganon, and I don't know, he is not my character to use. As much as I do hate his character, like, fighting style wise, I do love his character, like, in the Legend of Zelda series, but oh my gosh, is he problematic in this one. Surprisingly, this only took me 2 tries. Well, this is the second try, so I only died once. I shouldn't say it took me 2 tries. Let's say how many times I died. I died one time trying to get this recorded, but the second time I actually succeeded. I thought it was going to take a lot more tries, because I'd only beaten it with Ganon on Intense once before this. And that was one of the big things that I'd done before starting the boss battles. I was like, okay, if I do it on Intense with everybody, can I in fact beat it with Ganon? And I had a different save file, so I checked it and made sure that I could. And I was like, if it takes me like a whole bunch of tries, then I'm not going to bother with it, but luckily I didn't have too much of a problem. Luckily I got through a lot of bosses as well. It wasn't until boss 7 that I needed a heart container, or felt like I should need a heart container. So, I mean, for 4 bosses left and having 3 heart containers, you're pretty much set from then on. Because I like to try to keep a heart container for Taboo, so I make sure that I'm going in with 0 damage. Regardless of that, Taboo will definitely put up a very good fight against Ganon because of Ganon's inability to, use any very quick attacks. He will quite often launch a fairly strong attack and then leave himself vulnerable, so you will have to be careful. And you kind of have to know what to expect as well. If you can ever get moments like that, though, by all means use them, where, he's like using that slap tap, something that leaves him vulnerable to where you can easily damage him knowing he can't get you, then definitely by all means use it. Because there's not a lot of moments for Taboo that you're going to get like that, in particular right here where he wasn't doing anything, waiting for the red rings. Just seize moments like that with Ganon. You do that normally, but especially with Ganon, because you can get a lot of good hits in and it will take away a fair amount of his health for Ganondorf. And in fact, one of the problems I had with the boss battle for King Dedede, which is going to come up in a couple of videos, was Dedede also had a lot of the same problems Ganon did, but unlike Ganon, Dedede was not doing any damage hardly at all with his attacks. Like, his back aerial was doing more damage than his smash attack, and that does not make any sense at all, which I know that makes me sound like a dork, but smash attacks fully charged were doing the equal amounts of damage to a back aerial. Smash attacks are designed to be very strong hits, and they were doing equal damage to just an aerial attack, so it, really was not working out at all for Dedede, so I had to play very careful, and I had to actually stick with his back aerial, but regardless of that, we'll see that in a later video. This has been completed with Ganon, unfortunately, so with that out of the way, we've only got a few other characters that I was kind of worried about, and since I've already recorded Dedede's, I don't have to worry about his anymore. So, thank you guys for watching. In the next episode, we will continue onward with the Ice Climbers, which was not near as much of a pain as this one. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.